Hi, everybody. Just to accompany the short video I made for the whole of the school, I just wanted to give you, as Year 11 students and parents of Year 11, an update of where we're at because we realise the current situation for you is particularly uncertain. And I just thought we'd give you as much information as possible in order to try and support you. So, the first thing I want to say is please make sure you're prioritising your mental health. We realise the uncertainty that's surrounding GCSEs and your learning and your next stage of education. It is really tough at the minute. So what I want to do, I just want to signpost Kooth. So Kooth is a website, an online service where you'll be able to get kind of counselling, and there's chat forums and a place to talk and discuss any concerns you have or worries or anxieties. And the second is Childline. They've also got an online offer, but the number there is 0800 1111. I'd encourage you to take physical exercise, aim for 30 minutes a day if you can, and that will really help balance the stresses in your life. And talk to your tutor or another trusted adult in school or at home. Just keep talking to us. We realise it's tough at the minute. It will get better, and we will be here to support you. I wanted to give you this short presentation just to provide some clarity on the following bullet points. Now, I'll hold my hands up. In a lot of these cases, we as a school know as much as you as a student or you as a parent, but I will give you as much information as I can. So what do we know? We do know that GCSEs will not go ahead as planned this summer. And I know that will be a massive blow for many of you working hard over the past year and a half. Now, we're likely going to be moving to a structure of centre assessed grades. And this is whereby we as a school put forward a grade that we think you would have got had the exam been sat. That's what happened last year. Now, the reason I'm a bit hesitant with that is because nothing has been confirmed and there's been no guidance that's been published. Now, the rhetoric is around that's the direction of travel, and I think it's important that you know that, but there's no guidance yet. Now, the interim chief regulator at Ofqual says this: our message to students is this: please continue to engage as fully as you can in your education. This will put you in the best position, whatever arrangements are made for your qualifications. It's important that teachers and students can focus on the knowledge and skills needed to equip students to progress to their next stage, whatever form that might take, whether to college, an apprenticeship, university, or employer. So that's not from me. That's not from St John Horton. That is from Ofqual. And what they're saying is twofold, really. One, continue to engage in your lessons. That is the absolute must at the minute, a priority for you. And the second is, as schools, we'll be trying to support you in your next stage of education, whatever form that might take. So I don't want to go into this in too much detail because, like I said, the guidance hasn't been given yet. But just to let you know what happened last year is that we were asked to use the existing records available and available evidence to provide a holistic professional judgment of the grade a student would have achieved if the exams had gone ahead. So that's in essence what we did. Now, simplifies it massively. The process that we went through had 5 stages, and each stage had about 3 steps. It involved numerous stakeholders: teachers, curriculum leaders, senior leaders, director of performance, an external company to help us moderate, a whole wealth of things to make sure that we got that right. And we talked about each individual student in depth. The hours that we put into that process was very rigorous. And I imagine if it was to happen this year, we did offer a very similar process. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because it's a centre assessed grade. It's not a teacher assessed grade. One teacher doesn't have the responsibility of saying, this is the grade I think X student will get, and that's what happens. That's not how it happens. That is the very starting point. A process then of moderation, of challenge, of checking evidence, of moderation nationally as well happens before we do that. So I want to emphasise that now. It's a centre assessed grade, not a teacher assessed grade. And what that means is the predicted grade you see on Go for Schools is not necessarily the grade that we would be putting forward for a central assessed grade. It will be one part of the evidence bank that we will consider and scrutinise. But here's the disclaimer: we don't know that yet. This is what we think going to happen based on what happened last year, but we're still waiting. We know as much as you know at this moment in time. What we're going to be asking is that you don't contact individual teachers about the individual grades of your child, or if you're a student, you don't ask your teacher about that at the minute. There's a million and one things that need to come before that. We have got time. No guidance has been published, and even when guidance is published, they will give us time to do that. And also, it's not fair. It will be a centre assessed grade and not a teacher assessed grade. And so what I'll be instructing teachers to do is pass any of those queries straight to SLT, because we're not asking teachers to respond about questions about individual grades. If you do have any queries about the process or need clarity on any information in the public domain, so a government announcement or an Ofqual document or anything like that, get in touch with exams@sjhcba.co.uk and we'll get the right person to respond to you. As advised, and this was advised by Ofqual and DFE, we will not be discussing at any stage specific centre assessed grades with parents or students, excuse the typo. We just won't be doing that, and that's not us being difficult. That was ingrained in the guidance last year to ensure that the process was fair without interference from external stakeholders. So I hope you can understand that that's not us being difficult in that situation. It's just what we've been advised to do. And we will, of course, like I'm trying to do now, give you as much information as possible, because like I said, the more clarity you've got, hopefully the less anxiety you will have. But a lot of the time we know as much as you do. Moving to the short term, there is an engineering exam on the 12th of January, and we have decided that the exam will go ahead. We absolutely think it will be safe to do so. Our exams officer, Mrs. Morris, has been working exceptionally hard to ensure that everything is in place. So what we'll be doing is we'll be including additional social distancing measures on top of what we usually have in school, and we've taken every reasonable precaution, including a number of quite lengthy risk assessments, I imagine. A letter was sent out to all students involved. Now, this is just to say, this is just students of Year 11 taking the exam on January the 12th. It's a small cohort of potentially 30 to 40 students. The other thing we just wanted to mention, if transport to the exam is going to be an issue, please let us know. We are aware the buses aren't currently running as planned. We haven't got any arrangements to collect students or bring them in, but we'll work on a one-to-one basis if that is essential. We don't want anybody missing out on that exam. Mock exams. Now, we realise that you as Year 11 will have worked exceptionally hard for the mock exams that were planned for the end of January and the start of February. We continue to see the value in scheduling mock exams. We think they will form potentially part of the evidence bank for our centre assessed grades. We think it's good practice. It will give us a wealth of information, and we're keen that they happen. They are currently scheduled, we've rescheduled them to be on week commencing Monday the 15th of March. However, this is all subject to change, and we have to react to the national picture as and when it develops, and we'll send out more information closer to the time. But for the time being, we have penciled in week commencing Monday the 15th of March. One thing that you probably would have picked up from Ofqual, and something we're really keen to support you with at St John Horton, is about giving you as much support and reducing the anxiety for your transition to the next stage of your education. So we've had a few emails regarding this from parents, and we understand the concern there. We can't speak on behalf of other colleges, and if there's specific colleges that you are looking at, what we'd recommend is there's absolutely no harm in getting in touch with them. I would say they'll be just as swamped as we are as a school, and so it might take a day or two for them to get back in touch. Whatever happens with GCSEs, we will support you with your next steps and help you transition to college or apprenticeship or whatever that might be. We have talked about, and Mr. Timms and the team are looking at how we can best utilise our careers advisor at this stage. And we'll try and get a bit more information out to you, whether that be on a one-to-one basis or a small group basis. If you need a bit more clarity, then we think, got the capacity to give some careers advice. The final thing that I want to say, I know I've bombarded you with a lot of information there, is engagement in lesson. It is more important than ever that you're engaging in your live lessons and the work set on Satchel 1. I would urge you to complete all the work set, because we don't know what the guidance around CAGS is. So if you can prove to us what you know and what you can produce, then that could potentially form part of the evidence bank. I don't know for certain, but like the interim chief regulator at Ofqual says, the best thing that you can be doing now is engaging in lessons as much as possible. And if you have, the engagement in lessons for year 11 has been exceptional, but if you have a friend that you know is missing one lesson or not engaging in live lessons, give them a call, give them a text, tell them how important it is over the next 6 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks, to engage in lessons and to return any work that has been set for you. If you've got any questions, please talk to your tutor in the first instance. The whole of the staff body are here and rooting for you, and will support you in no matter what happens next. Okay, that's everything from me. I hope that provides a little bit more clarity and a few answers, but I'll get as much information to you as I can when I get it. Thank you very much.